We are rolling. Good morning. It's a couple minutes before 8:30. And here's Casper. He wants to come up and say hi. Hi, hi, hi. Good morning. It's Tuesday. It's almost 8:30. Okay, get down. Down. I'm working here. And YouTube is now live. That's good news. Okay, and we're seeing if we're live. And Coffee with Casper is now live. Look at that. Now you can come up again. There's a boy. Yeah, we got it all going. We are rolling. Good morning, good morning. You're watching Coffee with Casper. Let me know where you are. We're glad you're here this morning. That's Casper, who just came up again. There he is. Oh, yeah, this is Casper. This is my job, he says. This is my job. All right, down, big boy. All right. Good morning. Good morning from North Carolina. Good morning from Boise. Our beautiful couple from Boise. Good job, you guys. And Missy Grant from North Carolina. They're coming in. It's almost time for Coffee with Casper. We're going to gong ourselves in a second. All right. You need to be down, boy. You're a little overzealous here. I love you. That's right. Oh, doggy. This is his thing. He's into it. Okay. Good, the Casper boy. Okay, we're going to gong ourselves in just about 1 minute. And we will explore how we might heal, uplift, inspire, and bring forth more life in our lives and the lives of all those who touch our experience. I am Harry Morgan Moses, and you're about to watch Coffee with Casper. We're glad to see you this morning. All right, let's everybody take a deep breath in. Let the sound, ah. All right, Casper, down. That's enough. One more time. And then let your breath flow up into your heart center and relaxing your shoulders. And just becoming present to this moment now. Good morning from upstate South Carolina. Nice to see you this morning. Yay. Good morning from Central Oregon. We're all over the place today. Good morning, good morning. A lot of our friends are down in Indian Wells, California, where I will be shortly. And there we go. Yay, Casper. All righty. So we've been talking about, for the last, I did a couple of services since I saw you. I'll be in the UK live this coming Sunday. And then we were here at the Inspirational Center of Orange County also. Just a couple days ago, and now we're back with Coffee with Casper, and then we're on our way to be in a convention setting, and so what we know is this relevance of white light covers and surround me, and nothing but good can come to me is kind of important, yes? White light covers and surrounds me, and nothing but good can come to me. And so what we know in this changing world is that we need to apply the light of divine protection, the light of our own awareness, the light of our I am presence. And this is important because it uplinks us to our soul nature, to what we truly are. I'm greater than my mind, my body, and my experience. Who I am is greater than that. Not that I don't have a mind, body, and experience, but who I am is greater than that. And so when we begin to consciously uplink, we are inviting that whole nature, that reproduction, as Meister Eckhart said in the 12th century, the only begotten is forever begetting itself in me now. And this awareness is absolutely critical in our growth and in our understanding of who and what we are, and in a world that is awakening. When eventually everybody recognizes all things are interrelated and interconnected, and we are approaching that in mass consciousness. There's critical mass where things shift all the way over. And I think that I agree with the idea out in the world that the critical mass that is finally shifting, which really has come through the big timeout of the coronavirus, was this reframing of what it is we really intend, right? And what do we mean now? Is it just about being able to go travel, or is it who I am in the world, or is it my work coming into meaning, or is it finally coming into an abundance consciousness? what are the shifts that you would really like to see happen in 2022? Here we are just over mid-month of the first 2 weeks of the new year. And again, if we look out into the world, and if we read the newspapers or see the news, what we see is a tremendous amount of fear rising up again. And then that fear creates volatility, and fear and volatility beget more volatility. and so we are really, you and I as light workers in the world, you're watching Coffee with Casper. We are here every Tuesday at 8:30 Pacific time. Of course, it's on 24/7, both on YouTube and on Facebook. And we invite you to share this digitally with anybody who you know it might be valuable, to remember who I am, to remember that I have the resources to not only get through this challenging time in the human condition, but to flourish in it, and to find that there's an opportunity for a greater good, and for me to begin to move with intention as a greater good in the world. One of the ideas happening in the world is that the new generation is, the older generation is relinquishing power, sometimes not voluntarily, and the new generation is coming up. And this is the normal movement of the upward, forward, progressive spiral. And when we try to hold on to something that's not really ours, we struggle, right? If it's ours, I heard a friend of mine say a long time ago, and he learned it from his uncle, so generational story, says if it's not easy, it's impossible. Meaning, when we are working with the divine, and when we are moving with our intention, then the divine moves through us, presenting and revealing synchronicities and events and circumstances that will bring forth our good, right? And we need to know that and trust that and know that it happens easily, gracefully, and comfortably. This whole idea of struggling and straining in order to be successful is something that the human condition has made up. It's not the way of the flow of life. The flow of life moves from our intentions, what's coming from us, the law of the circle. That's the sum total of everything I've ever think, said, done, or felt becomes my consciousness, and that consciousness is returning to me according to the law of the circle as my experience. And so what we're wanting to do in 2020 is clarify that we don't need to participate with the old school methods of doing things, which is fortitude, struggle, strength, stick-to-itiveness, persistence. Now, obviously these are good qualities, but not when it's making you do it. Welcome, Jeff, from North Coastal Carolina. Not when you're having to make it happen. When we are trusting in the law of life and trusting that our consciousness is bringing forth these circumstances of good and more good, a greater good is mine. Just like uplinking to this idea of my eternal nature, my I am nature, to use that in my body to strengthen me, to return me to enthusiasm, to joy, to youthful exuberance. All of those things are not subject to age. They're subject to what we're doing with our consciousness. And the more we uplink our consciousness and bring it in to our world on a daily basis, the more we can transcend external conditions and find that this inner presence and I are working in joy, we're working in creativity, we're working in love to bring forth the greater good. Not just for ourselves, because we do not live just for ourselves. You're not a separate entity. You live for yourself and everybody who touches the arena of your experience. Therefore, the choices you make, the decisions you make, the actions you take, all have a ripple effect in the sum total of your consciousness and the sum total of your fulfillment in life. You know, I love and you've heard me use it many, many times, the expression from the Tibetan Book of the Dead. I came from the light, I put on a coat of skins, and I will return to the light. And so all of those things should be an act of grace, an act of joy, an act of appreciation. I mean, we have all had moments in our lives where we uplink and everything in that moment is just right. And you'll notice that in that moment, there's the presence of love and the capacity to share that love. Either if you're just watching a sunset by yourself and you find yourself struck by the awesomeness of it, then that's you and the divine experiencing that in the moment. And sometimes you have your beloveds with you, your family, your friends with you, and then you experience it as more than one candle being lit. But it's not separate light. All light merges with other light and becomes the same light. And that's what we're doing to shift the consciousness of humanity on the planet away from separation, away from duality, and away from all of those conflicts that come out of us against them or me for myself, without a greater awareness of the Spirit of God within me is the same Spirit of God that is in you. The life force that is in me is the same life force that is in you. And that is true of all people, all nations, all colors, all ways of being. The life force in each of us is the same life force. That recognition in and of itself will pull you away from the race consciousness of separation, duality, and competition, and move you in to the harmony of divine love and perfect flow. I choose to move in harmony with divine love and perfect flow. And you're entitled to it. And that's a better way of moving into the new year as opposed to creating a list of resolutions, resolving this, I'll resolve to be this, I resolve to be that, and we put a burden upon ourselves instead of using divine flow to bring forth the newness. Good morning from Albuquerque. Good morning from Honolulu. Nice to see you this morning. Good morning from Burbank, California. Beautiful Burbank, California. Cool. We are, all of us, connecting into this idea that everybody here on Coffee with Casper not only came from the light, is the light, and is now consciously using that light to bring forth, first of all, radiant, vibrant, dynamic health, to bring forth the law of protection, that I am guided, guarded, protected, and led into the paths of perfect right action. And I begin to acquiesce to this greater nature of myself, rather than struggle to find it and wonder where it is, but simply through my daily prayers and meditations. And of course, we're talking about affirmative prayer or spiritual mind treatment, identifying yourself as one with the one, and therefore drawing from that which is eternal love and joy and beauty and wisdom and peace and poise and providence and grace and magnificence and glory. I'm going to draw from that eternal one, overflowing with its abundantly good qualities, and begin to choose those good qualities through a perfect law of circulation, through the law of the circle, through the law of mind, to allow that greater presence and power to work in me and as me and through me, not just on some occasions, but on all occasions, because I did not get out of bed without greeting the day. I did not look for the divine breath, that I might breathe in more life force, more prana, more energy of the one, to strengthen my body, to strengthen my mind, to strengthen my awareness, that I may be in tune with the infinite, and therefore live and move and have my being in perfect flow. Now, does that sound too good to be true? Well, that's what the kingdom of heaven is. Isn't that the idea? And wasn't the greatest teacher of all time, isn't the one who says, behold, the kingdom of heaven is at hand, in earth as it already is in heaven? Meaning good and more good. No limit to the good. Everywhere I go, I experience the good. I feel the good. It multiplies itself around me and flows through me. This is yours to claim. But it can't be, gee, I feel bad today, I better do my practice. I don't feel in tune today, I better tune up, I better focus in, I better meditate. No. It's who you are. And we have to choose to be that all the time and decide that this is who I'm going to be. And how am I going to work the law in my life in this time of transition in the human condition. And in a time where we see, quote unquote, a plague, we're not calling it a plague now because we have more scientific awareness. It's a virus, but it's affecting all humanity, the whole earth. And we need to move through it and come out the other side of it and be better for it. Be more alive, more awake, more aware, more at peace, more in joy. Yes, and therefore I must purpose myself to it every day. Every day. Right? And then figure out how I'm going to interact with people while this surface condition is still there. How am I going to come from the depth and allow my intention to come from the depths of my being, and therefore the wholeness of my being, and bring that forward into my life. So each one needs to use the gift, and we've been talking about this. We have, each of us, something within ourselves. Good morning, Colin, from right here in Hollywood. I think the Los Feliz area. There we go. Nice to see everybody this morning. We need to identify with this power, this grace that we have, this true nature of myself, and use that identity to allow me to honor each and every person that comes into my experience, that allows me to see through the mist into the unity of our existence, and therefore be a beneficial presence to everybody who enters my space. That I choose to be a beneficial presence wherever I go, and allow that beneficial presence to extend from me and touch and do its good work in the world. And this is why the master teacher said, I of myself, I'm not really doing it. I am, however, at the helm, and the way I steer it will determine how it's going to go. That's why you have free will, that you get to choose how you're going to steer this beingness of yourself. And now, in a new year, as we release all of the fears, all of the doubts, all of the upsetments, all of the disappointments, everything that went behind, we need to really let that go, and allow it to be gone, and see it and claim it and release it and allow all those feelings to be gone. And then once we look forward at what are we going to be, how are we going to plant moving forward, right? How do I want to move forward, not only in this year, but on the other side of this thing, where in every country, everybody moves to the other side. And on the other side, where we have discovered that we are all connected, that there's only one life on the planet, that life belongs to in all things and all sentient beings, and everyone who becomes aware of their I am presence, and therefore aware of their unity with the One, and the gift that the One has given, the fullness of life and our capacity to direct the creative process in us and as us and through us, releasing our fears of the outer world and beginning to carry it with us as we move into the world. So some of you are by oceans, I know. Some of you are by mountains. Some of you are by streams and lakes. Some of you are by forests, and some of you are in deserts. But when you go out into nature, and when you can breathe in with a fresh breath, the prana of life that's happening all around us, do you notice that you're not fretting? When you take those moments to go enjoy a sunset, to go stroll in nature, to appreciate a tree, to enjoy the breeze touching your face, when you take those moments, you notice you're not afraid of the world. And so this stir-up that consciousness of humanity makes, the news media is based on selling fear. Now, we understand they're trying to tell the truth too, but they try to tell the truth in a way that means you need them in order to get by. And the bottom line is, you don't need every article in every newspaper. You don't need to hear every story of violent and upsetness in the world to know that who you are and the consciousness of peace and love and belonging Oh, Forests and Oceans. We got Angelica Taggart with us as well today. Look at all these great people checking in today. Right. So this is our time. This is the second week of the new year. We're almost into the third week. Well, we are technically in the third week, but we're just halfway through the first month. So this is your time to think about releasing that which no longer serves you, to really let last year pass under the bridge. Let that water flow, wave it goodbye, and now turn forward and start to contemplate, think about, who do I want to be as I move forward? How do I want to go about fulfilling my life's purpose and making a difference in everyone who touches my experience? How can my grandson, one of my 5-year-old grandsons, was watching a show when I came in yesterday. We were all watching the football game, and he didn't pay much attention to me. And then when we moved and he put the TV down, he just ran up to me and gave me the biggest hug. And isn't that the best? It's just, when somebody really just loves you because they just love you, and you can allow it, and then you can open your heart and just love them back. Now, that's one of the ways I want to be in 2022. It's one of the ways I want to be as I move forward into the newest part of my life, into the most meaningful part of my life. Why? Because I'm deciding this is the now moment that is the most meaningful. Releasing the past, deciding I can move in the light, as the light and with the light, and bringing that light forward as love and joy and laughter and belonging and connection and appreciation. We got some work to do. And I know each one here, everybody here watching Coffee with Casper, you are the light of the world. You are this soul that can bring this forward. And I have faith in you. And I have faith in me. And I have faith in the light. And we will be together on the other side of this, bringing forth a world that works for all, that really is the fulfillment of the dream. That I shall only judge things by the quality of character and not by any degree of separation in any way, shape, or form. But we belong to each other. So until we meet again, we invite you to go in the light, as the light, and with the light. I'm knowing that the long-time sun shines upon you, all love surrounds you, and the pure light within you guides you on your way. We'll be back next week with Coffee with Casper. Make it a great week. Allow your intentions to become clearer this week and become the person that embodies those intentions moving out into the world. Bless you. We'll see you next week on Coffee with Casper. Come on, Casper. You want to come up one more time? Come on. Mr. always wants to come up. Come on. Come on. Come on. There you go. There he is. We'll see you next week on Coffee with Casper. Bye for now.